Frank, San Antonio, you're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
A lot of things you say, I agree with. I do consider myself a liberal. I think that there's a difference between you saying white people and black people shouldn't marry and Jill Scott in common. And I'm not going to try to justify that because I don't necessarily agree with it, but I want to explain to you what the difference is.
I'm loving to hear this one. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. When black people say that, it's because, let me say this. I know a lot of times conservatives don't like to hear about the past. I'm not saying I don't want to generalize, but when I have a lot of conservative friends, they don't want to, whenever you bring up the past, the history of black people in America, they get upset. But it's true that, like the black family was systematically destroyed through slavery, through Jim Crow, through a variety of structures that were in this country. And so once we had the opportunity to recover for that, and I thank God that we did, the black family unit was already badly damaged. And then when we started to see...
What about the influence of welfare and abortion on the black family? The absence of the father on the black family?
I totally agree with that. But we're talking about this particular issue.
But here's the thing. What you're missing the point is. No, I will, Frank. I'll give you Frank. I'm going to give you all the time in the world. Okay, we don't shut down people on this program. This is not a left-wing program. You can have all the time you want. I'm just interjecting here. It's a dialogue. You and I are talking. We're buddies now. It comes down to whether or not a person wishes to be in a relationship with another person.
I understand that. I understand that. I told you right before I started that I agree with that. I don't think that that's a solution to the problem. I just want to explain to you why they think that. That's all.
But okay, what I'm trying to understand is,
I'm a Christian person, and everything else comes after that. So I think if two people love each other, there's nothing wrong with that.
But okay, Frank, here's what I'm trying to understand. Okay. How is it, maybe you can explain this to me, if I held the exact same view as Jill Scott in common, what would you consider me?
I would, it's hard to say that because I don't know you, but 9 times out of 10, honestly, I would probably consider you a racist. So let me tell you why. Can I just tell you why? The reason I would say that is because of this. Is because of the motivation behind that viewpoint. The motivation behind Jill Scott saying that is because she sees that black families are deteriorating. She sees that black women, who desire black men, who prefer black men, they're who they can choose from as far as successful family-oriented black men. That pool is being decreased as these guys are going out, for different women from different communities.
So in other words, she's upset that somebody else is making a choice that she doesn't think they should make.
She is. But let's stay focused though, because you asked me the difference between you and a black person going.
But do you hear yourself, Frank? You're actually saying what I can't believe you're saying. You're saying if I hold the exact same view, you're accusing me of malfeasance and justifying the thought by her. In other words, it's only racism when I do it.
I haven't said anything because you keep cutting me off.
I'm not cutting you off. We're talking here, Frank. Frank, we're talking. We're going back and forth. We're going back and forth.
Can I tell you what the difference is? What motivation would you have? Because her motivation is to maintain black families.
You mean to keep the blood pure?
Black families is not an issue.
So what you're saying is, Frank, do you hear yourself? She's talking about racial purity.
She is.
So if I said the exact same thing, you would call me a racist. If I said I believe in racial purity, you would call me a racist.
All I'm saying is this. I'm not even sure today. This is really the first time I've heard your show. All I'm saying is this. I hear people call out all the time. And again, I'm not saying this is the only solution, but family is a big, big part of improving the black community. I look at the community that I came from.
So a white person can't be a part of your family?
I'm sorry, what was that?
So a white person can't be a part of your family?
Absolutely. And let me tell you something about myself, okay? Let me say, when I was young, I fell in love with a woman that happened to be white. We caught a lot of slack from a lot of people. We had a child together. My child is the product of an interracial relationship of love. So I'm not saying I agree with her. I'm explaining to you why. And most white people, the white people who I knew who were coming down on us, it was because they thought that I was inferior. Now, not all white people would think that's the case, but the ones I encountered as a 19-year-old person, that was the case for them. When people in my community were mad at me, they were mad at me because that was one less person who could marry a black person. I know that sounds crazy to you, but the bottom line is family is very, very important. You know, now I'm a teacher, you know, military. I'm married to a black woman. I have, you know, 3 wonderful kids with her, and I live in a black community, and I'm a leader in my community. And I'm just saying that usually I don't see interracial couples living in the kind of places I live in and, you know, doing those things. Now, I'm not saying there's no other way, but from what I've seen, and I have plenty of friends who have white wives.
Let me explain let me wrap up what your thought process is, sir. If a black family moves into a white neighborhood, they call it diversity. If a white family moves into a black neighborhood, they call it gentrification.
I never said that. I never said that.
No, you didn't say that, but that's the exact thought. In other words, when Jill Scott says keeping the blood pure, when Jill Scott says keeping the race pure, that's not racist. It's only racist if I say it. In other words, there's 2 terms for the exact same thought.
Here's what you don't understand. Racism comes. I don't agree that black people can't be racist, but racism, to me, 100%. Has to do with motivation. 2 people can do the exact same thing, and their motivation behind those things is what.
Frank, do you realize how prejudiced you sound by assuming that you know the race, the motivation of other people based on race? That's your prejudice.
And I don't generalize. I made a statement that can be applied to any situation. Okay, 2 people can do the exact same thing. I didn't say white or black. Okay, I just said 2 people can do the exact same thing. The exact same thing. And one of them can have racist motivations and one of them can have a different motivation.
No, they're both racist motivations, sir. If you're sitting there, and I thank you for the call, saying that you oppose interracial dating because you want to keep the blood pure, you're a racist. You don't get a free pass because you're black. That's ridiculous. This is unbelievable. 1-866-95-PATRIOT, 957-2874. We're right, they're wrong. That's the end of this. You know, this is the kind of stuff that makes more black conservatives. This is the kind of stuff that makes more Hispanic conservatives. You know, sooner or later, this is the kind of stuff that's going to make more gay conservatives. We're right, they're wrong. End of story. Sirius XM Patriot.